Z.A.K here, and today I'm going to do an overview of my micro slash 4x4, or as you could call it, the Losi Micro SCT 4x4, which I just love calling it the micro slash 4x4, because it kind of is. Bumpers are alike, tires are, when it's stock, they look almost exactly like it. The body style, which is short course, which obviously looks like a Losi strike body if it was mounted on a slash. So that's why I call it the micro slash. So yeah, what I've done to it was I've taken the brushless Spectrum receiver out of there, and I'll show you what I put in there later. It's a cool thing that you must do with your micros. It's a good part to buy, and then the rest of them are just awesome. And right here I have my, it doesn't say on there, but because it got ripped off, but this is a Venom LiPo battery, 2S LiPo battery. Pretty good LiPo, but the Losi ones are kind of cheaper, so that's a better bargain. Then my remote is my FlySky FSGT3B. Some of the places I've purchased stuff, or some of the companies: RC Planet, RPM Traxxas, Jank Concepts, and Proline, and FlySky, which is the remote. And it's MSC for my third model because it's micro SC, which is this thing. I have 4 short course trucks on that remote. Not 4, 2, plus this one. Alright, the body's stock. I cut air holes in it. And yeah, ready to see what's under the hood. Ooh, there you go. Okay, so for my gearing, I don't pay attention really to what spur gear I'm running, but all I know is that it's from Hot Racing and it's aluminum. I'm pretty sure it's like in the 50 to 60 tooth range, but I'm not sure. I don't really care because it runs pretty good, and I have 2 of them. One was a little bigger, one was smaller. They both ran the same. Then the pinion gear is the stock Losi ones from off the stock brushless motors, and I'll tell you how to get those off the motor in a bit after I'm done going through the electronics. This is my receiver. It is a FlySky receiver. It was originally from a Red Cat RC, but it's a FlySky rebranded transmitter, so it's a FlySky. That's why it's found in my remote. And this is my ESC, which is the Acceleron brushless ESC, and I did the switch mod, which I'll show you. Okay, I might need to focus on this a little. I hate using my iPad. Well, yeah, I did the switch mod. As you can see there, that huge ball of solder, which you probably can't see from here. Okay, there's a huge ball of solder on there. That is, there's because the 2 connections for where the switch wires go, the switch fell off, and there's a cool little mod you can do with any RC that uses an on and off switch to it that's connected to an ESC. All you gotta do is if you have just 2 on and off switch cords from your on and off switch because you lost your switch, just solder the 2 wires together. It won't harm anything. It'll just turn the ESC on automatically when you plug a battery in. This thing is pretty cool because if I have my cover on, I don't want to dig into this thing and find the on and off switch, which is awesome for this. I would do it with this if you just didn't want to open everything up. Just plug your battery in the bottom. Which, unlike the Losi Micro T's and desert trucks use screws, this one just slides open. So yeah, it's not much of a hassle. Then my servo is stock 3-wire Losi Micro T servo. Then I have custom aluminum links. And yeah, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you about how I got the pinion gear off the motor. So there's this neat little trick you could do with the any Losi Micro brushless motor, any of them. The brushed ones you can't do it because they're built differently. The brushless ones are not. So the brushless motors, what you do to take them apart, like all the way apart, because it's using the same glue, is to take a lighter or a super hot heat gun, because you have to hold it on there for a long time, especially the lighter. You're supposed to hold that for like 5 minutes. It'll start coming apart. You gotta pull it apart with the pliers. Yeah, basically what happens is just like boiling your tires in the in a pot of water, but it's with a lighter or a heat gun on a motor, which means it takes the glue off the motor, could separate the sections and you do it. The new Proton, I have not tried because this motor is awesome and I just don't want to wreck it. But I just want to try on the new Proton. That's basically how I got my pinion gear off the motor. I just heated it up with a lighter. That's how I take apart all my Losi micro brushless motors. If I need an extra part from them, like a magnet or a shaft or something, then I can just do that. Every single part that's connected to the shaft is held on by glue. Both the motor caps are held on by that same glue. Melts easily with the lighter. And yeah, if your run times, after your run times, if you get really hot, then your motor might even break. So that's a good thing to have and a bad thing to have. I would just gear it better, but yeah. And I'm using the new Proton motor, which you heard me mention a couple times. It's $50, but it's the only motor that'll ever work in here, because the Losi Micro ones always like lose a wire or they just tick, which sucks. I just hate that. Sometimes you can get them to work with like some glue, but I would not risk trying that. It's $28-$30, and I went through at least 5 of those until I heard about this, which is on I think it was Z.A.K or something, or Black Star Hobbies. Yeah, Black Star Hobbies. I heard about this. And this motor is awesome. It's $50 off of Castle's website. Well, not Castle's, it's the new Proton thing website from Castle. But you can't reach it from Castle. You have to look up new Proton and then go to the Black Star Hobbies link, and then you'll find it there. And then you click on some link that somebody has out there, and then you probably find it. Or just look up new Proton and just search for it. But it's totally worth every penny for the $30. I mean, not 30, $50. And a guy hand builds the motor, hand tests the motor, everything's just awesome. That's probably why it's expensive to say to hand make it, but they know it's gonna work, they know it'll be good. And you could use it for helicopters, cars, basically anything that needs this motor. And you can get it in a 2mm shaft or 1.5mm shaft. And I got it in the 1.5. It has cooling holes in the motor in the front here where it connects the motor mount, in the back, which you can't really see. But yeah, and once you get it, you have to solder your own bullet connectors on. And also when you get it, the motor mount that comes stock on the micro T's and the micro 24th scales, you'll need to modify your motor mount so that it'll fit. You have to drill 2 new holes or just drill in on the holes that are already there, like drill a line through them. And that's, you can't see it right now, but I did that. Yeah, you can see there, that's what I did. I just scooted it over. And you could get it in, it's a 4-pole motor. It's like the only one you could get. There's so much pluses, and the only minus is that you really have to just buy your own connectors after you get it, modify the motor mount, and it just costs so much. But once you get it, you will not regret you bought this thing. This thing's awesome. The only bad thing that ever happened to this motor with me was it shears diffs sometimes, but that was on a 3S, so it's not my fault. But and also the shaft doesn't have like really good connection to the pinion gear that well. Sometimes you might need to glue it. I glued it and I screwed up, so I can't show you it running, but I cannot move the spur gear because the pinion gear has glue on it, and the glue from the shaft is on the motor somewhere. It's glued together, so I have to wrench that out with the pliers or something, or lighter. And then the other problem I had was a wire actually came out of the motor, but that wasn't my fault. When me and my dad were putting on the pinion gear, we put it in a vise, and he accidentally pinched that wire that fell out, and then he tightened it super hard. It worked after that, but then like after I was keep taking it out, putting it back in, taking it out, putting it back in vehicles, which is always what breaks the Losi micro motors, but that's what I was doing to this one, and the wire eventually just came out. So I just got some new wire from a collection of wire that I have that's about this size. I just put a little solder on it, tinned it up, shoved it right inside the hole where it came out, and then I just heated it up, and it soldered to the wire. You could do this with like any Losi micro motor, or just the new Proton or Hyperion motor or whatever. And yeah, that's how I did it. My shock oil I'm using, if I didn't tell you already, is 90 weight shock oil. And I still have my Truggies bumper. Wish I could run my Truggy into this because I couldn't fit all of this stuff in there. And this is one of the Fly Sky receiver is one of the smallest ones you'll find out there, but it's easier to just convert it to a rally or short course, which my dad had a short course, this micro short course, but then he just didn't want it anymore, so I just had a free RC, just like my Slash 4x4. It was free. This one was kind of the same, but it's still his. We're sharing it right now because he stripped diffs, which I was saying before. 3S LiPo stripping the diffs. 2S LiPo can, but you should loosen it. If you want to use a 3S or 2S, I would highly advise you loosen your slipper clutch. There's times when you need your slipper clutch to be loose, and there's some when you don't. And you don't is when you want some torque and you don't want to have just slipping from the start. But once you hear the screeching and when you're on the grass or something and you can't move, you should pretty much just tighten it a lot. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'll show you a running video of it once I get that glue out of on the motor shaft to come off the motor, because it's not making it move, obviously. I'll even show you. I'm moving it right now. Yeah, as you can hear, the motor's not ticking and the tires aren't moving. The ticking's from the 4-pole magnet in there, and it's super strong. It makes it go super fast. And yeah, that's my Losi Micro SCT. Thanks for watching.